Hey, if you're looking at buying a property in San Diego and your budget's around million one, and you're wondering what can you buy out there that's a single family detached property, obviously there's a lot of options, but in this video, I'm just gonna go and hand select a few throughout the county, starting in South County, all the way up to North County, and give you an idea as to how far $1 million will go. Right along and let's check it out. Now, to give you an overview of our tour today, we're starting down here in Imperial Beach, all the way at the southern end of San Diego. Border to Mexico is right down here. We're gonna head up next to Bonita, which is a central area, well, central for South Bay. A lot of equestrian areas out there as well. Then we're gonna head up to San Carlos, which is a great value for your money if you're looking for a central and family-friendly neighborhood. Head out east to Crest area of El Cajon. Go out to Claremont, which is a really central, semi-coastal climate area in central San Diego, and then head up to Escondido and then Vista. I think that this will give you a pretty good idea as to what $1 million is going to stretch to in various areas of San Diego. So let's go ahead and check it out. The first property we're at is 356 Citrus in Imperial Beach, and this property is 1,896 square feet. It's listed as 6 bedrooms, 3 baths. I'm not sure if these are actually permitted as bedrooms or not, but we'll take a look at the property. The nice thing about here, of course, the biggest selling point is you are about 3-4 blocks walking distance from the beach. And you've got new recessed lighting throughout, new kitchen, floors. Built in 1950 originally, priced at $1 million. No AC, and you have the wall heaters here. I had a property a few blocks away from here for a little while, and really there was only a couple weeks out of the year you really needed AC. If you open up the windows, turn on the fans, it's generally fairly tolerable, even on the hottest days. Now, there is not an access to the backyard from the back of the property here. That's a little bit of a downside. Takes away some of the functional use of it. This would be your laundry area. This goes to the side. This kind of feels like a bonus area, almost like an additional living space that definitely was not here originally. Side yard area. You got some yard space you can do something with. You got views out to Coronado. So again, this is priced at $1 million, pretty much on the dot, and it's been on the market for a little while. This is what $1 million will get you down here if you want to be close to the water. Now, one of the big things about Imperial Beach, of course, is it's got sewage issues. So sewage water spills into the ocean just a few miles south of here, and that's going to be an issue that you're going to want to be aware of. There are clean days that you can go out surfing. It's a big surf town, but that's not going to be a good 50% of the year, if not more. Like I mentioned, you're only a couple blocks from the beach, so you just come right over here on Alabama, take it right on to Palm. You've got restaurants in walking distance too. You got El Tapatio right over here. You've got the Filippi's Pizza Grotto right over here. And then you've got a number of little spots. I think it's Pizza Port Brewing right up here on the right. You got a barber shop, Good Times Barber Shop. New development coming soon. And you can see the spirit of Imperial Beach down there, the surfer statue all the way at the end. Now, I mentioned Imperial Beach has its sewer issue water pollution issues, and there's no doubt about that. But if you didn't know about it, you might not guess it just by looking at the water. So if you're just looking into being somewhere close to the ocean and getting the natural beauty, go for a walk on the pier, play some beach volleyball, you still get all that here. The most gorgeous sunsets, and it's a beautiful place. So if getting in the water every single day isn't a huge deal for you, it might be worth checking out. Now, as we head out to Bonita, some things about Bonita. It's a fairly central area. Let's say you're in the military, you're 10, 15 minutes from bases. You have, on average, much larger lots for single-family detached houses out here than you do many other areas of San Diego. And you also have a lot of equestrian trails and land out there. So horses are very popular. They have great parks. They have some very nice green and lush areas, open park areas that I think are some of the best parks in San Diego that a lot of people don't know about. And then you also have a great golf course down there as well, with a running trail and everything around it. The property we're going to go see is priced currently at $1.1 million. So it's not quite at the $1 million mark, but around $1 million plus or minus 100,000 is kind of what I want to show you today. And we're going to include that in the search and give you an idea as to what Bonita is all about. One nice thing about Bonita, and well, this is in Chula Vista technically right now, but lots of areas of San Diego, including Bonita, have a lot of these walking trails and hiking trails through the canyons and valleys. So you really have no shortage of places to go out for a walk and get outside. So this next property is 1330 Ridgeview Way in Bonita. This is 2,300 square feet. It's priced at $1.1 million. It's 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and you have over a quarter acre lot, so about 15,000 plus square foot lot. So this is built in 1977, and a lot of the finishes are going to be original to the home. But overall, this is move-in condition. It's financeable as is. Nice classic 70s kitchen here. Actually, that kitchen might be newer than the 70s, but 2-car garage, full size. Laundry in here. Tile floors and carpet throughout. Then you have like this kitchenette area over here. So you could have this as an additional living space or in-laws quarters. If you wanted to wall that off, yeah, you could have another entrance over here. Now, most owners are going to want to come in here and rip out the carpets, rip out the floors, the kitchen, baths, and repaint this thing and, you know, put their finishing touches on it. The great thing about this is it's financeable right now. It is move-in ready. So technically speaking, you could buy it as is and then do repairs and improvements as your budget allows. And you're in a great community, a great area, and you have a lot of space. You have a long private driveway and you're still 15 minutes from the ocean. So there's an option in Bonita. Let's go to the next property. Also in Bonita, you're very close to Sweetwater Reservoir. Good sized reservoir there, and they do allow things like shoreline fishing. So if you're looking for a body of water that's not the ocean to be close to, you have that in Bonita as well. San Miguel Mountain over there in the distance as we head out of Bonita on the 54. And up in the distance there you have Spring Valley, Dictionary Hill, all the homes perched on the side of the hill. There's some pretty crazy houses up there. Hitting a little traffic here on the 125 North where it merges with 94, common hang-up spot for traffic. You got Mount Helix, or you did. Same thing with traffic going southbound on the 125. 94 to the 125. Never any fun this time of day. Approaching 4 o'clock p.m. We're about to pull up on the property in Verlane, in San Carlos, on Verlane rather. This property is very close to lots of amenities. You got the San Carlos Town Center right there with restaurants, 24-hour fitness, shopping, gas stations, superchargers. All right, now we're at Verlane Ave, and this is in eastern San Carlos. And you can see you have a little bit different architectural style here. We got the kind of Dutch colonial going on, and contrasted with the last property, although the last one was outdated, this one is in much different condition. This is about 2,300 square feet. And it is priced at $1,050,000. I'm sorry, it's 2,133 square feet. It's 5 bedrooms, 3 baths. And the nice thing is you do have a bedroom on the entry level and then a full bath as well. So it doubles as a nice guest suite. It's kind of loud. You could have a guest room down here with the privacy from the other bedrooms and baths upstairs. And you can see there's a lot going on here. This is going to need a complete revamp. You got some interesting things going on. So it looks like they have a new AC and forced air unit, which is nice. But they kind of had to cut through the wall there. It looks like there was a lot of DIY on this place and a lot of things that just weren't done. So new paint, floors, pretty much everything is going to have to come out. But on the other hand, there's not a whole lot here that immediately calls my attention to it being a financing issue, with the exception of maybe the plants on the outside being close to the foundation and the ducts missing covers. It looks like everything here was DIY, from the paint, the floors, the scraping of the popcorn ceilings. Things like this will sometimes be called out, especially on FHA or VA loans when you have plants too close to the foundation there. You're also missing fencing here, which could be an issue. You do have some neighborhood views. You got this screen room, which there's not a whole lot of use for in San Diego, and that's probably got to go. A big brand new AC condenser. It looks like the roof is somewhat newer. So you have newer roof, newer AC, and furnace. So sometimes that's like my favorite property to buy, is like when the aesthetics on it, frankly, are not nice, but there is kind of systems that are going to cost a lot of money to replace and aren't really generally going to impact the sales price. So you kind of get them as a bonus, and you don't have to worry about them as much later. Pantry. So lots of cosmetics. And this is really a great neighborhood. You go and look at comps and you will see homes like this, fully fixed up, can sell pretty easily in the 1.2 range. And this is closer to $1 million. And it says the owner is open to concessions. So it's only been on the market for about a week. Even these retrofit windows look like a DIY. There's gaps around them, not framed up the way you'd like them, but so yeah, a little bit small closet space there. Yeah, overall a complete renovation job. You can see they didn't get all the popcorn here when they were scraping this, and yeah, really could just use some love all around. You do have views of Mount Helix. That's nice. Some of these windows are also original. This is 1977 construction. And then some of them you can see they looks like a DIY retrofit, not really properly sized, or they just didn't put the trim pieces up, I think is what it is actually. Maybe not properly sized, I just think they are missing the trim around there. So that is San Carlos. So being in San Carlos, one of the nice things is you are central east San Diego. And in San Carlos, the schools are pretty well rated. Many of them are 8s and 9s out of 10s. And overall, it's a great community. You're also very close to Lake Murray. So you can go out there, rent boats, go fishing, take a run around the lake, on the trails. And this is just it's a great area, very high demand. Just a little bit west of here is Del Cerro, a little bit further west, and you are in Mission Valley. So for $1.05 million on something like this, it's gonna require a lot of work, but at the same time, it's an opportunity to put in some elbow grease and actually build some equity right off the bat. You also are kind of close to Gillespie Airfield, so something to keep in mind. You're gonna have some plane traffic here and there. On to the next one. And the next property we're heading to is going to be Dawn in El Cajon. Actually, it's in the Crest area of El Cajon, which is on the eastern side. And you're gonna get more space on this one. We're gonna go check it out. It's got a good sized lot, and we'll see what you get for $1 million in East El Cajon. Now, one of the things about San Diego in general is we have a lot of microclimates. So you could generally be close to the coast and it's going to be much more moderate, much more tighter temperature ranges throughout the day. And then the further inland you go, you're going to have bigger swings, much higher highs and much lower lows. And El Cajon is definitely one of those areas where you're going to have much more desert climate, more arid, and cooler nights, hotter days. El Cajon's a pretty big city, and we're right now driving through the Granite Hills area, and you can get all sorts of different scenery and experiences in El Cajon. I mean, it's predominantly desert-like, but you even have Fletcher Hills, which is a bit more green and urban, and then you have some of these more deserty, rocky, remote areas like in Crest. I will say El Cajon also in general tends to be more conservative. So if politics are a big thing for you, you're going to have a lot more conservative leaning out here in East County. So this is 4 beds, 3.5 baths, about 2,800 square feet. This was built in 2004, and this is actually a rebuild after the Cedar Fire of 2003. In San Diego County, pretty much no matter where you are, one of the first things you want to do is see where you are as far as fire hazard zone goes. Because a lot of places, Bonita, even central parts of San Diego, if you're near canyons or hillsides, there's a lot of areas where you're in very high fire hazard areas. And you want to check your insurance rates as one of the first things you do in your investigations. So this property seems to have, the original house seems to have been burned down in 2003, and this was rebuilt since then. So I would imagine we were probably in a significantly elevated fire hazard area. Pretty much goes without saying in most parts of eastern San Diego County. Again, you're on a full acre here, and you've got a lot of parking and views. You can certainly see the landscaping is generally more dry out here. You're not going to really keep a lush yard like you can in central San Diego. You can imagine that most of the things on this are going to be original construction, 2004. So even these synthetic materials are starting to decay. This property is priced at $1.089 million, and I've been notified by the agent there's already 5 offers on the property, and they're likely going to be opening escrow tomorrow. And this is kind of what you're going to have to do if you want to get an acre for $1 million. Is you're going to come further east, areas like this, or go further north up the 15 to areas like Rainbow or a bit more remote areas, even approaching Riverside County. It's a nice size house too, 2,800 square feet, but you are further from the action. You have more privacy. Great views though from a lot of these windows. So if you're looking for more space and privacy, distance from your neighbors, a bit slower pace, and less traffic noise, you can come further east county, other parts of El Cajon, Lakeside. If you really want to go further out, Dehesa, Julian, there's some other options further inland, but then we're talking easily a 45-minute to an hour commute. And it just starts feeling a lot further out. Crest is still kind of like on that cusp of feeling like you're super far away, and at the same time just feeling like it's a little bit longer drive. So, but you do get that privacy and more secluded environment, which a lot of people are looking for nowadays. Again, 5 offers, only on the market a few days, so we'll go check out the next one. You also get this detached large garage. I already put the keys away, but you can see it's basically like a mini pole barn. It could be a workshop or whatever you want to do with a nice building like that. Again, I'd say the biggest thing out here is going to be fire hazard risk and fire insurance. And those costs and premiums can really get up there. So, and that's happening again, even other parts of San Diego and Escondido and many parts of the city. Just things to be aware of. Next property we're headed to is in Claremont on Cole Street. All right, we're just getting into Claremont here, and this property that we're checking out on Cole Street is in North Clairemont. It's right on the other side of the canyon from UTC, University City. So North Clairemont is generally in higher demand and goes for more premium of prices than you'll find in central or southern Claremont. And especially if you're on these canyon lot properties, you're going to be paying more of a premium. All right, now we're at 5341 Cole Street, and this is in North Clairemont, again, right across the canyon from UTC. And we have a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, about 1,232 square feet. This is built in 1959, and it's currently priced at just under $1,050,000. You can see it's got the basic finishes, tile, carpet, probably set up as a rental. Fairly small living space in here relative to some of the other options, but at the same time, these 1,000 up to 1,500 square foot homes are fairly common here. And the property next door as well. So that property is around 2,100 square feet, I believe, and it's pending for around $1.3 million, I think. So if you look at the price per square foot, it's about $850 on that one and around $600 on this. So the value really in these areas is generally going to be the location, as is the case in much of real estate, of course, but certain areas it's more pronounced than others. So again, this is a 1.5 bath. So you have a full bath here, condensation on the windows, and then you got a half bath for your master. So these kind of size of homes and styles are pretty common in the 60s, 50s, 60s. This is really one of the staple neighborhoods in San Diego. You're really, though, in a very desirable area. So despite the small living space, you got a good sized yard. You could build onto this if you wanted to. Now, we're not on a canyon, but many of the homes surrounding us predominantly are. So you kind of get that cul-de-sac-like feeling here. I do hear some airplane noise. That is one thing I'll say about here is that you are kind of on the outer end of the flight pattern for aircraft departing Montgomery going out west to the coast. We're a little bit further away than some parts of Claremont, but it is kind of in that direct flight path, FYI. So properties like this in areas like North Clairemont offer an excellent opportunity to get into a phenomenal neighborhood, a great place, a great location, albeit small, on the smaller end, but still move-in ready for at or below the median price in San Diego County, which is around 1.1 right now. And this is really a great yard too. All right, so we're heading out of Claremont. We're heading up the 15. We're going north to a property in Escondido. You're gonna get an idea as to how much space you can even get on a budget like this if you're willing to go out of the city of San Diego. And then we got another one after that. So let's go check these out. We're now at the property in Escondido, and this property is almost 3 acres. It's about 2.76 acres combined between two lots. So you have the lot that this home sits on and then the adjacent lot over there. And this home was built in 1960. It's only about 1,200 square feet, but you have a lot of land here. And you're set a little bit back from Country Club Road. You can see there's some noise here, but you got views to the hills over here, and you're facing some hills on the other side as well. So surrounded by nature. Now, obviously, something that you're going to consider on a property like this is all that extra space, especially adjacent to hills and brush. Worth it for the insurance, because you're going to probably pay a premium for that here, and you might even have some trouble finding a policy. property's original condition in many regards, but it shouldn't preclude financing from what I've seen. You've got these original hardwood floors. This property is priced at $999,000. So right at the $1 million mark, and you can still get some acreage in San Diego County. Again, this is going to be for a particular kind of buyer who's looking for a certain type of property. That's the Palomar Health Center building up there, you can see from the highway. It's very peaceful back here. And then the land goes, the majority of the land is this way. So you got some treed parts of the property. Looks like they had some slabs poured for something once upon a time. But you got a lot of trees here. You know, that comes with its downsides as well, because you got to clear brush back a certain number of yards, and insurance is going to hit you hard in this area. You're in a very high fire severity zone, like, again, much of San Diego. But so you got a lot of space that goes out all the way over there, actually over to the street. So options like this exist out there if you're looking for them, and it's just a matter of knowing what you want and narrowing it down. So yeah, it's going to need some love and care, but it looks like it was loved and cared for once upon a time, and maybe a property like this is just what you're looking for. And the final property we're going to go check out is actually the largest of them all, over 3,000 square feet, up in Vista. And we're going to go head out there right now. We're at our final property at 352 Beaumont in Vista. This is the largest property we've seen today. It's a bit odd. I just took a quick walk through it, but you do have some beautiful views up here. You're set back. There's a lot of privacy and green, and you have a detached 2-car garage, and then an additional 2-car garage. You have a sparkling pool in the back. I don't know if it's super sparkling, but this property's got some water intrusion issues, among other things. So let's take a quick peek. This is priced at $1,100,000. It's been on the market for a couple weeks. It's 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, built in 1965, and it's just under 3,400 square feet, although I've seen properties that were smaller and felt larger. And there's a lot of this throughout the property. So might be a bigger project than the majority of buyers are going to want to take on, because that's not just in one area, it's in several, in addition to the cosmetic attention that's needed. And there was other things going on here. You do have a beautiful backyard and pool. And those views. You're on about a 1/4 acre lot. Vista is pretty popular for agriculture. It used to be the avocado capital of the world. Now Fallbrook has kind of claimed that title. But lots of agriculture out here, and you're about 15 minutes from Camp Pendleton and about 20 minutes from the Carlsbad beaches. So you're not too far inland. More of that. Laundry room. This is everywhere. So this place obviously needs a lot of work. Take a look at the pool quick and then wrap this up. So there you got it, guys. There are a handful of options in San Diego County. If you're looking around for a property, a detached house with $1 million budget. Now, they're not all going to be perfect, not all going to be turnkey, but there are some great options out there that are move-in ready. It's a good property, and it's in a great area. For example, the Claremont place, and there's options out there. So right now, you got more leverage as a buyer than you have in many years. If you have any questions about anything we've seen, or you're looking for something entirely different, feel free to reach out. I'm a real estate broker. This is what I've been doing for 15 years, and I'm happy to help. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.